Unless you've been living under a rock or are in denial about your team getting completely owned by Indian Motorcycles flat track racing team, the Wrecking Crew, chances are you're aware of the recent leap from obscurity to the pinnacle of FT racing prowess under the Polaris umbrella. In honor of this recent success, and in an effort to ride the current wave of popularity and interest in this storied American brand, Indian has put together a street-legal ride fit for the masses, the Scout FTR 1200 Custom. As the cleverly ingenious name suggests, it's based on the Scout platform, but any resemblance to the actual Scout seems to be solely in name and the general engine layout. In fact, let's just shine on the whole Scout thing for the moment, and focus on what this bike actually is, shall we? Continue reading for my look at the Indian Motorcycle Scout FTR 1200 Custom. Much like the genuine FTR 750 race bike, the FTR 1200 Custom is lean as a snake with nothing in the way of fat or superfluous features. Well, maybe that's not entirely true. The carbon fiber fork guards, radiator shroud and upper body cover certainly qualify as vanity pieces, but at least they do benefit the build in a more practical way with their lightweight and inherent strength. Up front, the fender is cut down to a bare minimum, which is more than the 750 gets, and the rear end is utterly without any coverage. Not even a hugger or hangy-downy license plate to be found. At least not yet, since we are still looking at a non-street legal, pre-production version of what will be a street legal bike. It is as yet unclear how the tag holder will shape up. But the LED headlight is in place and the tail light strip comes tucked away under the terminus of the subframe to keep the rear end clean by incorporating the turn signals as well. The upper lines are defined by a one-piece, cloth and resin member that forms the shape of the fuel tank cover, seat scoop and subframe tail, but much like the 750. It's built as a solo machine with nothing in the way of pillion accommodations, not that a passenger is likely to be very comfortable seated atop those unshielded silencers anyway. Short rise bars place the hand slightly closer to the body than drags bars or clip-ons. And the jockey mount foot pegs pull the feet up well clear of the ground no matter how far you lean into the corners. So, what do you call a flat track bike that will probably never see the inside of the track? I reckon we'd call that a scrambler of sorts, but no matter how you label it, the FTR 1200 Custom is one hot-looking ride. Indian starts out with a trellis frame made up of 4,130 chromoly steel members and a swing arm made of same, as you'd expect of a race-type bike. Steering geometry is set up for extreme maneuverability with 25 degrees of rake and a short, 3.7 inches of trail. Fully adjustable Öhlins products support and tame both ends of the ride, so you have plenty of opportunity to dial it in and get it just how you want it. The engine serves as the FTR 1200's tenuous connection to the Scout family. A 60-degree, liquid-cooled V-twin supplies the power, a rather ambiguous 100-plus ponies according to the factory, with low-restriction S&S, cycle tracker, exhaust components. So far, the factory is still a little sketchy on the rest of the details. We can take for granted that it will use an electronic fuel injection system to meter the hydrocarbons via a good old-fashioned cable control, and that there will be nothing in the way of TC or any other fandangolery, but the rest is still a mystery. Pricing at this time is TBD, it being a concept and all. And I don't even want to guess. The plain Jane Scout runs almost $12,000, so figure that as a starting point. Yeah, no what, sports fans? If there was a competitor that I could use for a direct head-to-head with the FTR 1200 Custom, we wouldn't be looking at the 2017 season's results with Indian so firmly positioned at the top of the food chain. Jared Meese, Brian Smith and Brad Baker brought home the bacon with 6 sweeps. 14 total wins and 37 podiums between them, plenty mo, to make them the apex predators of the American flat track world. Harley, Kawi, Ducati, oh my. The list of vanquished foes goes on and on, with none of them offering such a genuine piece of the action as does Indian with this bike. Is Indian putting too much stock in its newly re-established racing fame? Time will tell, but when the Indian-Harley rivalry began, success on the track was synonymous with sales, and that's still more or less true today. But this is such a race-tastic bike, and it's a rather niche style of racing at that. So I reckon the target market will be a bit narrow in scope. I wonder, will another team emerge dominant next year and release a civilian version of its race bike as well? Nothing to do but wait and see.